G'day everyone, Murray cod season is right at our doorstep. It's opening this coming Friday, and I've had a number of people ask me if I can run through the lures that I'm going to be taking with me on cod opening. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Right, now these are the lures that I'll be taking with me. I'm a little bit grotty at the moment. I've been in the shed for the last hour or two just getting everything organised for the new cod season, and this is what I've packed. Now this is like the staple diet of my cod fishing. This is what I'll have with me a lot of the time, but there'll be times where I'm using lures that have been sent to my mail time segment, tackle club boxes that I get once a month, and other odds and ends from time to time. If I go targeting big cod somewhere in a lake or down in the Murray River or something, I might take some bigger lures. But these are the lures that I'll have with me most of the time, including cod opening, for these sort of waterways that I fish the most. These small waterways where most of the fish that I catch aren't very big. Anyway, let's get started. Now, I'll try and link to everything that I show you. I'll try and link in the video description below. Some will be affiliate links, which means that if you buy something, I might get a kickback. Some have discount codes so that you can save 10% usually. And some are just links that I put there for your own information so that you can find the stuff. Right. I just realised right now while I was talking I haven't got a stump jumper in. I nearly always carry a stump jumper with me, but I didn't think to put one in this time. Right, there's a few flies. I'll start with this one. This is a Coolabung cod cracker. That's a jointed surface lure, quite large. I don't usually use this a lot, but I always carry it with me so that every now and again you'll see a bigger fish will hit your lure, or you'll know there's a big fish and you just want a big lure to tie on, and I'll use that in those times. I've had this for a few years, this lure. I'm not sure whether you can still get them or not, but I'll have a look, and if you can, I'll put a link in the video description below. But I think it's a 100mm Coolabung cod cracker, or maybe 110, I'm not sure. Right. I'm just dropping these on the ground as I go here, and I'll pick them all up at the end because I haven't got anything to rest my tackle box on beside me. Mr. Orange. You've seen Mr. Orange quite a number of times on my channel. It's an orange predator lure. I've caught so many cod on Mr. Orange. This is the original Mr. Orange, I think. The first one that I called Mr. Orange. The paint's all scratched and old, but I've got a couple of newer ones at home that I can replace this with if I need to. Orange Predator. Predator lures are made here in Wangaratta, and the guy that makes them is a ripper fella, and he makes a ripper product, and I just love Mr. Orange. We have, I'm going to be doing a lot of this during this video because they're all stuck together. A white one well sumo. I've got quite a few of these in my tackle box, but I've got a white one well sumo. I have put in, oh yeah, I'll go for this one here. I don't have a very advanced tackle management system here. I just throw them all in this cheap tackle box that I've been using for years, and it works well. I've just got to wiggle them and jiggle it to set them free a little bit. I've got a Pitbull Bitter Critter surface lure that was sent to me by Les at Pitbull Lures. That has got the most amazing sound on the water. Bloop, 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 bloop. I have, hang on, I'll get back to them ones. A Damiki Brute, a Brute 70. I've actually got one of these on my cod rod now that I used. You may have seen a video last week where I was fishing for trout cod at Lake Kerford. Well, I've already got one of these on there now. That's actually got two different types of hooks. I must have replaced them at some stage. The Damiki Brute, they come in the tackle club. I've got two of them now, and they've bought three of them, I think, and they've come in the tackle club boxes. They're a great little lure. Now back to this one. Might need to try and use two hands. This is one of my all-time favourite surface lures, the 70mm Coolabung Cod Walker. They're like $12 each, and they catch fish. They have probably the highest hookup rate of any surface lure that I've used. Anyone that's caught cod on surface lures will know that the hookup rate can be quite poor. For some reason, there's a better hookup rate with this surface lure than pretty much any other, and they're cheap and they're effective. It's not big, so it doesn't catch as many big cod. It's more, I did catch an 85cm cod on one of these once. I think it was my biggest ever cod on a surface lure on one of these little things. There are bigger models of Coolabung out there, but personally I don't think they have as good a sound or a splash as what these do. There's something about these that is just perfect. The larger ones are, I don't know, they're just a little bit different. They still work, but I like these smaller ones. I love these. I've got a Bassman 4x4 spinnerbait. I don't use spinnerbaits a lot. I prefer hard body lures. It's a personal thing. A lot of people prefer spinnerbaits. Some are 50-50. For me, I prefer hard bodies, but I like to carry spinnerbaits with me because there are times where I just want to tie one on and I wish I had one. The Chase Bait Smuggler. I reviewed these lures a couple of years ago. These come in the tackle club. They're a very lifelike, although I've never seen a purple budgie, but you can get proper budgie colours and they're very lifelike, but that's not what I like about them. I don't think the cod really go into that much detail. I just see something moving and going blip, 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 blip across the surface and they hit it. These have got a great sound. They've got a really nice sound on the water. A real deep sort of a bloop, 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 bloop. And I think the cod love it, and that's why I like to carry one of these with me. I've got a couple of these in the shed at home, but I've only got one in my tackle box here. Here we have another One Well Sumo. These are one of my favourites. These and the Old Mate. The Old Mate lure. This is the, I think they're the 15 feet model, I think they're called. I'm not sure. They're both very similar lures. The Sumo's a little bit smaller than the Old Mate. They both cast well. The Old Mate probably has the advantage with casting. The Old Mate's a lot more buoyant than the Sumo. The Sumo does float. It's neck and neck, 50-50. They're a similar size lure, and I've got quite a few Sumos and Old Mates in here. And here's another. There's another Old Mate there, just in case I want a purple one instead of a green one. That one's actually might even be brand new. The other one's got twisted hooks and whatnot, but that's in great shape, that one. Moving on. I've got a couple of these in here. The One Well Lunch. Not the biggest one, not the smallest one, but the middle-sized one. I actually forget what size they are. They might be 70 mil maybe. I think the smallest one's 50, so maybe 70, I'm not sure. But these are good for yellow belly as well as cod. You certainly catch cod on these. I've trawled quite a lot of cod on these. If I'm fishing from my kayak, and I'm planning on doing a lot more kayak fishing this cod season, this is my go-to trolling lure. It's got a tighter action, so it doesn't drag the kayak to one side as much. It just tows through the water nicely, and I catch quite a lot of cod on them. And being a little bit smaller, if there's a yellow belly around, if I have a yellow belly follow my cod lure in that doesn't hook up or something, well, I might just tie one of these on, or clip one of these on and cast at it, and I might catch that yellow belly that I wouldn't have otherwise caught with a larger lure. So they're a good all-rounder to have with me. The One Well Lunch, and there's another one just there in green colour. I forget the names of the colours, but that one's called Lamborghini because that's my favourite colour from One Well, the Lamborghini. Now we've got a couple more One Well Sumos. The Lamborghini, which is what I just showed you. The Lamborghini Sumo, that will probably be one of the first lures I tie on when the season opens. Another One Well Sumo, I think that might be called Neon Lights, but I'm not sure. I've got a smaller Mr. Orange, a smaller predator. They make two different sizes of the predators, and this is the smaller one, just in case there's a few smaller fish around, or once again a few yellow belly. That's a great size for yellow belly. I've got these Sixth Sense. Doesn't even say Sixth Sense, but I know it is because I remember opening it. This came from my tackle club box. I've got two of them here. MVMT 80WK. I don't know what that means. 0 to 1 feet. They swim just under the surface. I got this in a tackle club box last season. I opened it up, I tied it on, I used it, and it went really, really well. I caught a lot of fish on it. It just swam shallow, just under those layers of grime and just next to the logs and stuff, and the fish climbed all over it. It's got a unique sound as well. I don't know how I'll go linking these. I'll try and find them online, and if I can, I'll put a link in the description below. I think if they're a master angler line, I'll be able to link to them, which I think they are, and you can get a discount code there as well. And this is a similar one, another Sixth Sense, but this is a jointed version of that one that I just showed you. Almost the same thing. A little bit larger, a little bit jointed. This is more of a wake bait. It swims just under the surface and creates a wake. Both of these Sixth Sense lures caught cod for me last season. We have another little One Well Lunch, the medium-sized One Well Lunch, just in case there's a yellow belly around. I've got another, I've only got 3 or 4 left. Another Coolamung Cod Walker 70 mil. Another Bassman 4x4 spinnerbait in case I want to put a spinnerbait on. I've also got another Bassman spinnerbait. I've got a little Bassman Yellowman spinnerbait, just for the same reason that I've got those little One Well Lunches with me, just in case there's a yellow belly around and he's following my lure and I just want to, or even a redfin, and I think I wish I had a smaller lure with me. Well, I've got one there that I can put on. I've got another One Well Sumo. I think that he's called Pink Panther colour. My biggest ever cod was caught on pink on a #1 stump jumper. Normally I've got a stump jumper in my tackle box. I never even thought to grab one this time. I'll probably end up putting one in at some stage. And I'm going to have to replace the hooks on this before the season opens, but that is a Depths Buzz Jet. They're an interesting lure. They're quite an expensive lure. This was handed to me by a friend many years ago, and I've got a few of them, 4 or 5 years ago, but it's an absolute fish magnet. When you cast it out a long way, it'll try and dive. It's a bit harder to use. On a long cast, you've got to hold the rod tip up to keep it on the surface. But they go along, they rattle, they've got an erratic action, they sway, they've got a little propeller at the back. And the Murray cod in these skinny waters, just absolutely love them. I would say they're one of the best surface lures for skinny water, but certainly not the best value. They're about 5 times the price of the little 70mm Coolabung cod walker, but they're a fish magnet. And I've got a few line clips. If you're not sure what line clips to use, I use and highly recommend these. These are the mustard fast touch clips. And folks, that's it. That's everything. That's all the stuff that I'm going to be taking with me on cod opening this year, if I go lure fishing. We've had a fair bit of rain here in the last couple of days, and the river, I'm in Wangaratta, and the river behind me here is already quite sort of dirty colour, and now we've got quite a bit of rain forecast in the few days leading up to cod opening, so the river might be too high and dirty. I might go to the trouble of packing all these lures only to end up bait fishing with worms and cheese. I really don't know. Either way, I'll be out there doing something. Folks, they're the lures that I'm using. For those of you that requested this video, thank you very much. I hope you all got something out of it, and thank you all very much for watching.